Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new around here, thanks for stopping by. My name's Tolu, and on this channel I share content all around personal finance, budgeting, frugal living, and I show you how to live your best life on a budget. If you're a returning subscriber, thanks for coming back to watch another video. It's amazing to have you here with me again. So today's video, guys, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be talking about an important subject. It's one I've spoken about at length on my channel, and I'm going to be speaking about it again today, and that is the topic of debt. So today's video is actually sponsored by Step Change. Step Change are the UK's leading debt advice charity, and what they do is they offer free and unbiased advice on your own personal debt situation. So you can literally speak to their advisors, tell them where you are currently in terms of your debt situation, and they can provide the help and the advice that you need to help you come up with a plan in order to tackle that debt and become debt free. This week in particular is actually Debt Awareness Week, and the idea of the campaign is to really remove the stigma surrounding debt, because I know from my own personal experience of being in debt that it can be such a shameful thing. It can be embarrassing, it can be overwhelming, it can be a situation that just makes you feel so bad about yourself and feel so alone and so isolated. And what makes the charity amazing is that you're not alone. There's somebody that you can speak to, there's somebody that you can tell your situation to, and they can give you the advice and the support that you need in order to tackle your debt and face your situation head on. I wish I knew back when I was in debt that this charity existed, because I could have been able to benefit from their services, but I didn't even know such things were out there, which is why I'm like, do you know what? I didn't know, and I wasn't able to benefit from these services, but best believe I'm going to tell you guys about it, so that if you are in that position and you are currently in debt and you're looking at your situation and it feels bleak and you feel like, what can I do? There's no way out, there's no one to turn to. There are people out there that will listen, there are people that will support you and are going to help you reach your desired goal of debt freedom. So in the description box below, I've linked to the Step Change website, so you can go on their website and look at all the different free resources that they have available for you, and you can contact their helpline and get the help that you need to help you on your debt-free journey. With that being said, and with this video being all about debt and the services that are available via Step Change, I thought it would be also good to talk about things that you can do when you are overwhelmed by debt and you feel like debt is taking over you and you are drowning in debt. Because trust me, I've been there. Like I said before, if you haven't watched that video, it's actually up here, so you can go and watch it after this video, where I talk about my own debt-free journey at length. But just know there was a time that I was in a lot of debt, and I've subsequently been able to pay off all that debt. I haven't been in that situation. I know how overwhelming debt can be, which is why I want to share things that helped me on my debt-free journey and things that I think could help you also if you are feeling overwhelmed by debt. These are some things that you can try doing, and these things can definitely help to take that edge off. I think one great thing that you can do if you feel overwhelmed by debt is to accept your situation. Face it head on and accept that this is what it is and I need to do something about it. I know from my own personal experience, this was something that we did for way too long. We buried our heads in the sand and we ignored what was going on. We didn't want to face what was going on and what was right in front of us and the position that we had got ourselves into, and that just in turn made it get worse and worse as the months progressed, because we were just digging a deeper and deeper and deeper hole for ourselves. But I think when you accept your situation, accept that this is what it is, I've got myself into this position and I'm going to get myself out of it. When you accept that that's the situation and accept that you're going to do the work required to get there, I think that's really going to help to reduce the overwhelm that you feel when you're in debt. I think another important thing to do when you feel overwhelmed by debt is just kind of accept responsibility for where you are currently in your financial situation, because I think a lot of times we don't want to be accountable to ourselves for ourselves, but I think it's important to be accountable to yourself for yourself and actually say that, okay, this is the bed that I've made for myself and I'm going to lie in it. But I think when we omit that responsibility and we don't take accountability for our actions and we don't say, okay, this is what I've done and this is how I've contributed to my current present financial situation, then we're doing ourselves a disservice and we're not going to help ourselves to actually achieve that debt-free goal. I know everyone's financial situation is different, and sometimes it isn't actually your own fault. Somebody else could have actually put you in that position where you're now currently in debt. But no matter how you've ended up at the situation you are, you're there now. Own that position, own that situation, own where you are. I may be here now, but I'm not going to be here forever. I'm going to do the work required to overcome this debt and to achieve that goal of debt freedom. I would say not to panic. Yes, debt can be overwhelming, and yes, it's a lot when you feel that pressure and that burden of being in debt. But the worst thing you want to do in that kind of situation is to panic and to get stressed out, because it's not going to help you and it's not going to serve you well. Focus on that goal and focus on where you're trying to get to, and don't allow where you currently are to consume you too much, because I think sometimes that noise can become so overwhelming. You're just seeing, oh my gosh, I owe so much debt, I'm in such a bad place, I'm never going to get out, it's never going to work out for me, and all those negative self-talks and all those things that we keep saying to ourselves keep playing out in our lives, and it keeps playing out in our minds over and over and over again, and it makes it very, very difficult for you to actually continue on that journey, because it feels like this situation is hopeless and there is no way out. So it's like, what's the point? I'm doing all this work and I'm never going to get there. But I think it's important to shift our focus and change our mindset when it comes to the area of our personal finances. Your money does not define you. So wherever you currently are right now, that doesn't determine who you are or determine your self-worth. And I think sometimes we put too much pride and too much importance on our financial status, and I don't think it's healthy, and I don't think it's helpful, particularly on a debt-free journey. There is light at the end of the tunnel. Yes, you may be in debt today, but you're not going to be in debt forever. And I think having that future focus and that future mindset and saying, yes, my current situation is not my final destination. I will overcome this debt. I will reach my debt-free goal. Having that kind of focus and having that kind of mindset will help you and enable you to actually stay the course. So focus on where you're trying to get to and don't be too consumed and too overwhelmed by where you are right now, because where you are right now is not permanent. It's every single new day is a new opportunity for you to get closer to that debt-free goal. But it's just a case of putting in that work and telling yourself, I can do it, and proactively then taking those steps required to actually do it. I know a lot of what I'm saying right now, you're thinking, yeah, sure, Tolu, it's easier said than done. I know it's easier said than done, and I've done it. And that's why I'm saying it can be done, and I know you can do it too. A lot of it happens in our mind. Change your mind and you can literally change your life. Like, I'm so convinced of it, because that's definitely what happened to me on my financial journey. It was at that point when I had that mindset shift and I changed my mind. It came to the area of my finances that I was finally able to start experiencing that breakthrough. But I think when you have that limiting belief in your mind and you tell yourself you can't do it and you feel like you can't do it, your actions are going to follow suit, and the results of those actions are going to be because you didn't believe you could do it. So I think changing your mindset, telling yourself you can, reconfirming that on a daily basis, repeating that to yourself continuously, telling yourself, I can do this, I can break through, I can pay off this debt. Reminding yourself of it continuously is really going to help you feel less overwhelmed, and it's really going to help you achieve that goal of debt freedom. Another important thing to do is reward yourself on your journey. So as you're on this journey to paying off debt, it's important to celebrate those small wins and celebrate those milestones. So every single time you make progress in the direction of paying off that debt, reward yourself. It doesn't even have to be a big reward. I'm not saying you pay off £500 worth of debt and then you take another £500 and buy yourself a handbag. That's counterproductive. But what I am saying is celebrate those milestones, celebrate those small wins. Reward yourself as you're taking these steps on your debt-free journey, so that it keeps you motivated to keep going and it stops you from feeling so overwhelmed by your situation. So let's say, for example, your debt is currently £10,000 and you're trying to pay this off within the next 2 years. Then break that down into annual goals and break those annual goals down into monthly goals. And every single month that you hit that goal of paying off that amount of debt that you set yourself, reward yourself. It might be a cheeky takeaway, it might be a new top, whatever it is, reward yourself on that process so that you feel the motivation to keep going and keep proceeding towards your goal of debt freedom. I think another important thing to note is that you are not alone. You are not the only person in debt. I know when we're in debt, we can feel very isolated. When I was in debt, I didn't realize that so many people around me were in debt. I felt like it was just me and my husband that have just ruined our finances and made a mess of everything. But it's only when I joined the debt-free community online, I realized that no, we're not alone. We're actually probably part of the majority. A lot of people have debt and a lot of people are facing negative financial situations. It's just that we don't talk about it. We don't have these conversations. So you don't know what the next person is going through. But just know that you're not alone in your debt. You're not alone in your financial situation. Other people are going through it too, and just as they're taking the steps towards achieving their debt-free goal, you can do the same if you're prepared to do the work and make the sacrifices required. It's also important to remind yourself that you are not a failure. You may have made a mistake, but you are not a failure. Your debt doesn't define you, and don't allow it to define you, because I think a lot of times we can place value on our finances and our financial position, but your financial position doesn't have any bearing on who you are as a person and the value that you have as an individual. And I think it's important that you remember this and separate yourself from your debt. You are not your debt, and your debt is not you. And don't think because you are in debt that makes you any less of a person or less important as a person or less valuable as a person. All of the negative things that you may be thinking surrounding your position right now, remove it, forget about it. It's not you. It doesn't define you. You are amazing and you can get out of debt and you can transform your finances. This is just the season that you're currently in, but seasons come and seasons go, and you can get out of debt. So I just want you to be encouraged and don't think that you're a failure, because you are not. You made a mistake, you messed up, but you can turn it around. I think it's very important to take pride in your progress, track your progress and take pride in how far you've come. Measure your progress and be proud of every milestone and every step you've taken towards achieving your debt-free goal. Because I think a lot of times we can just focus on the fact that I've got £10,000 worth of debt to pay off, and that's all we're focused on. You're not focusing on the fact that you've paid off £1,000 of that debt, but I think it's important to do so. It's important to acknowledge your progress, acknowledge how far you've come, acknowledge that you're not where you once were. So whether it's day 1, day 100 or day 1000 of your your debt-free journey. Wherever you are on the journey, let's celebrate your progress, celebrate how far you've come, and give yourself a pat on the back for sticking at it and doing the work required to achieve your debt-free goal. Another important thing to do if you're feeling overwhelmed by debt is to talk to somebody. I mentioned earlier on in the video about Step Change, the charity that is there for you to speak to somebody about your current situation, to talk to about your debt, so that you don't continue to feel alone and isolated. But equally, it's important to have these conversations with your friends, with your family members, people that will listen to you, people that will help you and encourage you on your debt-free journey, so that you don't feel like you're doing it all alone and you don't feel isolated. Because what tends to happen is when we're just alone with our thoughts will send us to some mad places that we have no business going to. So I think it's so important to have these conversations so that when we are feeling overwhelmed, that we have somebody else to take that load off of us as well, so that it feels like it's not such a heavy weight to bear. Last but not least, you know I always find a way to throw it into my videos, but if you haven't yet done so, create yourself a budget. If you're feeling overwhelmed financially and you feel like, oh my gosh, my money's out of control, I'm in so much debt and I don't know what to do, creating yourself a budget and getting a plan for your money is really going to help you to take the reins of your finances and get in the driving seat. So if you don't have a budget in place, it's definitely time to create one. In the description box below, I'll include a link to my budget planner. If you haven't checked it out, that's a budget planner and expenses tracker that I currently use to manage my finances, and it's the planner that we were using on our debt-free journey, and it helped us to subsequently pay off over £36,000 worth of debt. So if you want to grab a copy, it's in the link below. So if you watched any of my recent videos, you know that I've spoken about the fact that I have an ebook coming out that talks about the 10 steps to debt freedom, in which I took to pay off my debt. Well, that book is finally released, guys. It's in the description box below if you want to grab yourself a copy. In that book, the 10 steps to debt freedom, I outline all the steps that we took in order to pay off our debt. I hope you find the ebook useful and it helps you on your own debt-free journey. Those steps definitely helped us to transform our financial situation, and I really hope that it can do the same for you. But with that being said, guys, that's literally it for today's video. I really just wanted to share with you different things that I think you can do, a mindset that you can adopt, and approaches that you can take in order to help you when you're feeling overwhelmed on your debt-free journey. Like I mentioned earlier as well, I'm going to link in the description box below to the Step Change website, so that if you are in debt and you don't see a way out and you need that support and you need somebody to speak to and you need fee-free advice, then definitely check out Step Change in the description box below, because they have advisors and resources on hand to help you on your debt-free journey. If you made it this far in the video, guys, and you haven't yet given it a thumbs up, do me a favor and give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet done so. Tell a friend to tell a friend, and I will see you on my next video. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.